In today's video, I wanted to begin my journey through the main storyline featured in Assassin's Creed. Growing up, AC didn't really land on my radar until about Revelations' release. I had occasionally heard my friends talk about Brotherhood and AC2, but it's not something that I got into until, say, 2012. However, as soon as I started playing Assassin's Creed 1, I was hooked. I beat it pretty quickly, and soon after, I had played every single game, including the newly released Assassin's Creed 3. Honestly, Ubisoft captured lightning in a bottle with AC's earlier titles. The unique gameplay mechanics and features, the overarching storyline, the characters. To me, with my nostalgia goggles strapped on tight, these titles were up there at the top during the renaissance of gaming. Assassin's Creed titles used to dominate at release, they were all the rage at conventions, and for those who remember, AC Online was one of the most fun and unique parts of the whole experience. Now, as time's gone on, the premises and gameplay features of the later games have changed quite a lot. They steered away from the original Assassin's Creed formula and have paved a path of their own. I haven't played a newer title since Black Flag, so I can't really comment on the later installments. However, with the amount of fun and awe I used to have going through these games, I figured it'd be a really good time to get to experience them again. So, as per usual, I'm going to play through the main story, listen to the dialogue, discuss my experiences, and talk a bit about the game overall as well as its features. Now, to get this out there right away, Assassin's Creed 1 doesn't have subtitles of any kind, so unfortunately we're all going to have to lean in and really pay attention to the dialogue. However, I'll try my best to make it as clear sounding as possible. The game's beginning is fairly abrupt and overstimulating. I take control of a character, but something isn't quite right. I can see visual representations of data, there are NPCs without any features, there are flashing lights, and I'm confined to certain spaces. This is artificial, well, obviously, but you know what I mean. In the background, I can hear two people speaking, a man and a woman. The woman sounds panicked. She mentions that there's a problem and that I'm rejecting some kind of treatment. Meanwhile, the man is persistent. He's saying to relax and focus on my current objective. He tells me that everything I'm seeing isn't real and that it's a projection of the past. Unfortunately, the pep talk doesn't seem to work, and the woman says that my vitals are getting worse. Images appear on my screen, lights continue to flash, the people around me are screaming, and the man and woman are going back and forth on what to do, until finally, I wake up.
You okay?
I told you he'd be fine.
Bastards!
Now, I just saved your life.
Saved my life? You kidnapped me. You strapped me into that thing.
Animus. It's an animus.
I don't even know you people. Why are you doing this to me?
You have information we need, Mr. Miles.
Information? I'm a bartender, for Christ's sakes. What do you want me to do? Teach you how to mix a martini?
We know who you are, what you are.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play coy with me. There isn't time. You're an assassin. And whether you realize it or not, you've got something that my employers want. Locked away in that head of yours.
But I'm not an assassin. Not anymore.
Yes, your file indicated as much. Something about an escape. Most fortunate for us.
What do you want from me?
For you to do as you're told. The Animus will allow us to locate what we need. Once we have it, you'll be free to go.
I am not going back in there.
Then we'll induce a coma and continue our work. When we're done, you'll be left to die. Truth be told, the only reason you're still conscious is because this approach saves us time.
You're insane.
So what is it, Mr. Miles? Live or die?
There's a lot to unpack there. As the game goes on, more of the finer details surrounding the plot will come to light. For now though, I'm playing as someone named Desmond. He's apparently a former assassin, whatever that means. These people, the scientists, have taken me against my will and are putting me into something called an Animus. This machine can sift through my memories, but more specifically, the memories of my ancestors.
A wise decision.
Whoa. Where am I?
You're inside the Animus.
Which is...
It's a projector that renders genetic memories in 3 dimensions.
Genetic memory.
Seems you'll need a bit of a tutorial. Very well. We'll start simple. What is a memory, Mr. Miles?
It's the recollection of a past event.
Specific to the individual remembering the event.
Yeah, sure.
What if I told you that the human body not only housed an individual's memory, but the memories of his ancestors as well? Genetic memory, if you will. Migration, hibernation, reproduction. How do animals know when and where to go? What to do?
That's just animal instinct.
Now you're arguing semantics, Mr. Miles. Whatever you call it, the fact remains. These creatures hold knowledge absent the requisite first-hand experience. I've spent the past 30 years trying to understand why. I discovered something most fascinating. Our DNA functions as an archive. It contains not only genetic instructions passed down from previous generations, but memories as well. The memories of our ancestors.
And the Animus lets you decode and read these DNA files.
Precisely.
But there's a problem. This is the specific memory we're trying to access. Unfortunately, when we try and open the memory, your mind withdraws. You lack the confidence to step into your ancestor's body. That's what happened earlier. You got knocked out of the target memory and pushed back to a more stable state.
Why?
It's your subconscious. It's resisting. We've found similar reactions among patients who undergo hypnosis to relive traumatic events. They can't jump directly into the specific memory. They need to be eased in. Even then, there can be problems.
So how do we fix it?
We find a memory you can synchronize with, and we move forward from there. You'll get used to it. This is the closest we can get, so it's where we'll have to start. I'm uploading the tutorial program now.
It's kind of funny. Assassin's Creed has a few tutorial sections, and more or less, they teach you the same sort of things. So for this one, I'll just keep it short. A voice coming from the Animus puts me through the absolute basics. It shows me my health bar, or as it's coined, the synchronization bar. This lowers from combat damage, fall damage, and by harming innocent people. I then get to play around with different profiles, low and high. A low profile is pretty straightforward. I'm trying to stay incognito. I run through a first-person view, meant for honing in on specifics. Following that, I learn how to wade through a crowd and blend in with the masses. These are skills that are imperative for remaining undetected. As for the high-profile controls, these are what kick off the game's action. Sprinting, attacking, tackling, assassinations, etc. The Animus also goes over the social status feature, or detection as a whole. If the icon in the upper corner is red, I have to be on my best behavior, aka keep a low profile. Anything else, more or less, I can perform high-profile actions. Under most circumstances, these would mostly be running, climbing, and parkouring. The Animus then goes over the various ways I can go from being detected back to incognito, something that's vital for an assassin. As of right now, it feels a little strange to receive all of this training, and yet there's no rhyme or reason for it. However, this is most of Assassin's Creed's gameplay. Once everything kicks off and there's a flow between both states, it'll create one of the most fun gameplay environments out there. Once the basic tutorial is all over, I get thrown into one of Desmond's ancestors' memories.
This one need not die.
An excellent skill. Fortune favors your blade.
Not fortune, skill. Watch a while longer and you might learn something.
Indeed. He'll teach you how to disregard everything the Masters taught us.
And how would you have done it?
I would not have drawn attention to us. I would not have taken the life of an innocent. What I would have done is follow the creed.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Understand these words. It matters not how we complete our task, only that it's done.
But this is not the way
My way is better.
I will scout ahead. Try not to dishonor us further.
What is our mission? My brother would say nothing to me, only that I should be honored to have been invited.
The Master believes the Templars have found something beneath the Temple Mount.
Treasure?
I do not know. All that matters is the Master considers it important, else he would not have asked me to retrieve it.
Getting tossed right into the action, things feel a little disorienting at first. I'm in the middle of a mission. I'm with two unnamed NPCs who are my allies, and I'm in an unknown location. Really, this acts as a practical trial run for how most missions would feel, minus the allies. Furthermore, it's the setup for this game's story.
There! That must be the Ark.
The Ark of the Covenant?
Don't be silly. There's no such thing. It's just a story.
Then what is it?
Quiet! Someone's coming.
I want us through this gate before sunrise. The sooner we possess it, the sooner we can turn our attention to those jackals at Masyaf.
Robert de Sable. His life is mine.
No. We were asked to retrieve the treasure and deal with Robert only if necessary.
He stands between us and it. I'd say it's necessary.
Discretion, Altaïr!
You mean cowardice. That man is our greatest enemy, and here we have a chance to be rid of him.
You have already broken 2 tenets of our creed. Now you would break the 3rd. Do not compromise the Brotherhood.
I am your superior, in both title and ability. You should know better than to question me.
Now we have a name for my assassin, Altaïr. Just below the trio, there's a group of soldiers standing in one of the chamber's corners. After using an ability called Eagle Vision, I can see that one of them is the big boss. This is Robert de Sable. He's not the reason that the 3 of us came here, but he sure seems to take precedence in Altaïr's mind.
Hold, Templars! You are not the only ones with business here.
Well, this explains my missing man. And what is it you want?
The game sets me up for a simple assassination attempt. In fact, it's too easy and so forced to where you know it probably won't work.
Blood.
You know not the things in which you meddle, assassin. I spare you only that you may return to your master and deliver a message. The Holy Land is lost to him and his. He should flee now while he has the chance. Stay, and all of you will die. Men, to arms! Kill the assassins!
Well, that didn't go as planned. What's more, my companions are probably dead. From here, the only thing I can do is try to find my way back around. However, after ascending to the top of the temple, I'm only met with an exit, and therefore, Altaïr is forced to flee. Not only was I unsuccessful in securing the mark, likely something to do with the Ark of the Covenant, but I also doomed my companions. From here, the Animus is able to fast forward through Altaïr's memories and transport me to another location.
Altaïr, you've returned!
Raouf.
It is good to see you unharmed. I trust your mission was a success.
Is the Master in his tower?
Yes, buried in his books as always. No doubt he expects you.
My thanks, brother.
Safety and peace, Altaïr.
On you as well.
At least in the first few Assassin's Creed games, there are a lot of religious undertones and overtones, as you could probably tell. The Templars, a Catholic military order, and the Ark of the Covenant are just the tip of the iceberg. Right now, I'm in a small village called Masyaf. While it's not explicitly stated just yet, this is essentially home base. Here, the streets are patrolled and watched over by like-minded people, other members who belong to the Assassin Order.
Ah, he returns at last.
Abbas.
Where are the others? Did you ride ahead hoping to be the first one back? I know you are loath to share the glory. Silence is just another form of assent.
Have you nothing better to do?
I bring word from the Master. He waits for you in the library. Best hurry. No doubt you're eager to put your tongue to his boot.
Another word and I'll put my blade to your throat.
There'll be plenty of time for that later, brother.
As we've already seen, just because someone's a member of the same faction, that doesn't necessarily make them Altaïr's friend. In fact, Altaïr seems to be an odd one out most of the time. Heading up into Masyaf's fortress, I end up meeting with the master of the Assassin's Order, Al-Mualim.
Altaïr,
Master.
come forward. Tell me of your mission. I trust you have recovered the Templar's treasure.
There was some trouble, Master. Robert de Sable was not alone.
When does our work ever go as expected? It's our ability to adapt that makes us who we are.
This time it was not enough.
What do you mean?
I have failed you.
The treasure?
Lost to us.
And Robert?
Escaped.
I send you my best man to complete a mission more important than any that has come before. And you return to me with nothing but apologies and excuses.
I did.
Do not speak! Not another word! This is not what I expected. We'll need to mount another force.
I swear to you I'll find him. I'll go in.
No! You'll do nothing. You've done enough. Where are Malik and Kadar?
Dead.
No! Not dead.
Malik?
I still live at least.
And your brother?
Gone. Because of you!
Robert threw me from the room. There was no way back. Nothing I could do.
Because you would not heed my warning! All of this could have been avoided! And my brother would still be alive! Your arrogance nearly cost us victory today.
Nearly?
I've what your favorite failed to find. Here, take it. Though it seems I've returned with more than just their treasure.
Master, we are under attack. Robert de Sable lays siege to Masyaf's village.
So he seeks a battle. Very well. I'll not deny him. Go. Inform the others. The fortress must be prepared. As for you, Altaïr, our discussion will have to wait. You must make for the village. Destroy these invaders. Drive them from our home.
It will be done.
Well, Malik was at least able to get the job done, but at the cost of his own brother. This won't do well for Altaïr's reputation. Either way, it seems as though the Templars have followed Malik back to Masyaf and are wreaking havoc. Soldiers and civilians are injured or dead out in the streets.
Altaïr, it's good you've come. We need your help.
What's happened?
Templars. They attacked the village. Most of our people were able to get away. Most, but not all.
What do you need me to do?
Distract the Templars. Keep them occupied while I rescue those still trapped inside.
As you wish.
Running back down to the village, the game gives me a quick combat tutorial. Honestly, I've always enjoyed the fighting in Assassin's Creed, and as the games go on, it only gets better and better. As of right now, I have access to 4 different weapon types. The longsword is best used for face-to-face combat, as its reach and power are unmatched. Then, I have access to a short sword and some throwing knives. The short sword can let off quicker attacks, but its range and power are not as good as the longswords. The throwing knives are fairly overpowered and act as Altaïr's ranged attacks. In most cases, they can one-shot an enemy. I only have a finite amount though, so for the time being, it's best to use them sparingly. The third weapon type, as technically the previous 2 are combined, are my fists. These are mostly used for specific circumstances, like interrogations, a feature we'll come across later. Then lastly, there's the iconic Hidden Blade, an item that's practically synonymous with Assassin's Creed. It's essentially a gauntlet that has a retractable knife. This is mostly how assassinations are carried out. In the first AC game, it's purely used for silent and unexpected takedowns. Either way, this small crawl through the village teaches me the basics of combat. As soon as I've reached the end of Masyaf, the assassins get called back to the fortress, and the Animus fast-forwards Desmond's memories.
Come. Al-Mualim's not done with us yet.
Where are we going?
Up there. We've a surprise planned for our guests. Just do as I do. It should become clear soon enough.
Even though it felt like I had single-handedly pushed back the Templars, it clearly wasn't enough. Robert de Sable and his army have made it up to the fortress, and as of right now, things are not looking good for Masyaf. Robert wants whatever Malik took from the temple, and he won't stop until he gets it. Making it to the top of the fortress, not only am I greeted with a pretty view, but also a plan from the assassins.
Heretic! Return what you have stolen from me!
You've no claim to it, Robert. Take yourself from here before I'm forced to thin your ranks further.
You play a dangerous game!
I assure you, this is no game.
So be it! Bring forth the hostage! Your village lays in ruins, and your stores are hardly endless. How long before your fortress crumbles from within? How disciplined will your men remain when the wells run dry and their food is gone?
My men do not fear death, Robert. They welcome it, and the rewards it brings.
Good. Then they shall have it all around.
Follow me, and do so without hesitation.
Show this fool knight what it is to have no fear. Go to God!
This clever trickery disguised as braveness is the leap of faith, again something that's become synonymous with Assassin's Creed. Trusting the process, Altaïr takes a dive to the ground below.
Oh, my leg! Oh, my leg! Quiet, or the Templars will hear us. I'll stay behind and tend to him. You'll have to go ahead without us. The ropes there will bring you to a trap we've set. Go and release it. Rain death upon our enemies.
What happened to that guy is the reality of what would happen to any of us if we actually tried that. From here, I'm tasked with navigating my way across the canyon. This seems easy, and it is. The only thing though is that sometimes the parkour system in AC can be incredibly finicky. There's not much safety when it comes to button combinations in this game. What I mean by that is that with the slightest change of the analog's angle, instead of having Altaïr scale a castle wall, I'll have instead flung him into the canyon below. While frustrating at times, it definitely adds to the game's charm. Finally, reaching the top of the tower, I activated the trap and saved Masyaf from further war.
Fall back, men! Fall back!
To a more recent one.
You did well to drive Robert from here. His force is broken. It shall be a long while before he troubles us again. Tell me, do you know why it is you are successful? You listened. Were it that you'd listened in Solomon's temple, Altaïr, all of this would have been avoided.
I did as I was asked.
No, you did as you pleased. Malik has told me of the arrogance you displayed, your disregard for our ways.
What are you doing?
There are rules. We are nothing if we do not abide by the Assassin's Creed. 3 simple tenets, which you seem to forget. I will remind you. First and foremost, stay your blade.
From the flesh of an innocent. I know.
And stay your tongue, unless I give you leave to use it. If you are so familiar with this tenet, then why did you kill the old man inside the temple? He was innocent. He did not need to die. Your insolence knows no bounds. Make humble your heart, child, or I swear I'll tear it from you with my own hands. The second tenet is that which gives us strength. Hide in plain sight. Let the people mask you such that you become one with the crowd. Do you remember? Because as I hear it, you chose to expose yourself, drawing attention before you'd struck. The third and final tenet, the worst of all your betrayals. Never compromise the Brotherhood. Its meaning should be obvious. Your actions must never bring harm upon us, direct or indirect. Yet your selfish act beneath Jerusalem placed us all in danger. Worse still, you brought the enemy to our home. Every man we've lost today was lost because of you. I am sorry. Truly I am. But I cannot abide a traitor.
I am not a traitor.
Your actions indicate otherwise. And so you leave me no choice. Peace be upon you, Altaïr.
He's experiencing a far better adoption rate than the other subjects.
I'm still pulling him out. He's been in there way too long.
No, not yet. We're still so far from where we need to be.
We shouldn't risk it.
What's another hour or two?
Why don't we discuss this in the conference room? Give Desmond a minute to stretch his legs.
I really don't see the need.
Warren, please.
Fine.
That certainly looked like it was the end of Altaïr, publicly scolded and murdered in front of his peers. Not the best way to go. In any case, now's the time to get Desmond acquainted with the office and lab space. Just in the other room over, I can hear the two of them bickering, but I can't quite make out the specifics. While the lab is pretty spacious, there aren't that many points of interest, at least in this room. There's of course the Animus, but alone I can't do much with it. There's also a computer on Warren's desk, but I don't have the login credentials. The rest of the lab is relatively barren. However, the connecting room ends up being Desmond's quarters. It feels like a slightly more upscale prison cell. I have the basics and necessities, but it's nothing special. In the bathroom, I can hear Lucy and Warren's conversation a little clearer. Stepping up to the vent, Desmond can eavesdrop on their argument. Really, it's exactly what you'd expect. Lucy is telling the doctor to take it slow, as rushing Desmond through the Animus might kill him. Meanwhile, the doc is frustrated at my lack of progress and insists that we just try harder. He threatens Miss Stillman, saying that she could end up like Linda, whoever that is. He then tasks her with prolonging Desmond's sessions in the Animus. All of a sudden, the argument stops, and that's my cue to meet them back in the lab. As the two exit the other room, Warren tells me that we're done for the day. Surely he had to bite his tongue for that one. From there, the doc leaves, Lucy takes her exit, and all I can do is retire to my quarters. Stepping on in, Abstergo, the agency who's running this whole thing, ends up locking the door behind me, essentially making Desmond a prisoner.
Gotta say, that's a little creepy, Doc. Waking up to you standing over me. You been watching me sleep?
We're always watching you. Now get up. We've got a lot of work to do.
Ooh, wonder who I get to kill today.
Don't be so cavalier. Your ancestors almost had the right idea, Mr. Miles. If the deaths of a few people, evil people, no less, could save the lives of thousands more, well, it seems a small sacrifice.
What do you mean, almost?
They didn't go far enough. To use a rather tired analogy, corruption is no different than cancer. Cut out the tumors, but fail to treat the source and, well, you're buying time at best. There's no true change to be had without comprehensive, systemic intervention.
Chemo for the masses.
Education, re-education, to be more precise. But it's not easy, and it doesn't always take.
Let me guess. You've got a better solution. What is it then?
Now that would be telling.
Gearing up for round 2, or is it 3, in the Animus, Desmond lies down on the table and gets sent back into Altaïr's memories.
I am alive. But I saw you stab me. Felt death's embrace.
You saw what I wanted you to see, and then you slept the sleep of the dead, of the womb, that you might awake and be reborn.
To what end?
Do you remember, Altaïr, what it is the assassin fight for?
Peace, in all things.
Yes, in all things. It is not enough to end the violence one man commits upon another. It refers to peace within as well. You cannot have one without the other.
So it is said.
So it is! But you, my son, have not found inner peace. It manifests in ugly ways. You are arrogant and overconfident.
Were you not the one to say that nothing is true and everything is permitted?
You do not understand the true meaning of the phrase, my child. It does not grant you the freedom to do as you wish. It is a knowledge meant to guide your senses. It expects a wisdom you clearly lack.
Then what is to become of me?
I should kill you for the pain you've brought upon us. Malik thinks it only fair. Your life in exchange for his brother's. But this would be a waste of my time and your talents. You'll see you have been stripped of your possessions, your rank as well. You are a novice, a child once more, as you were on the day you first joined our order. I am offering you a chance at redemption. You'll earn your way back into the Brotherhood.
I assume you've something planned.
First, you must prove to me you remember how to be an assassin.
So you'd have me take a life?
No, not yet at least. For now you're to become a student once again.
There is no need for this.
Others tracked your targets for you, but no more. From today on you will track them yourself.
If this is what you wish.
It is.
Then tell me what it is that I must do.
We have been betrayed. Someone was assisting Robert de Sable, one of our own. You must find him and bring him here for questioning.
What can you tell me of the traitor?
Ah, but that's just it. I've given you all I will. The rest is up to you.
As Al-Mualim sends me away, I can see that I've been stripped of all my gear, ranks, and abilities. Altaïr has been set back to a novice assassin. This is the game's clever way of having the player develop their skills alongside Altaïr. This way I don't have uncut access to all of my character's powerful and useful abilities.
Safety and peace, Altaïr.
You're in my way.
Yes, Al-Mualim has asked that I assist you. Remind you how it is we hunt our prey.
I know how it works.
Be that as it may, I have no desire to disobey.
Then be quick.
The Assassin have many tools at their disposal.
Yes. We can eavesdrop, we can pickpocket, or we can use violence to intimidate.
Good, you remember.
So you'd have me walk amongst the others and learn what I can about the traitor?
Yes. Begin by going to the village market. That's where we first spotted the traitor.
You know who it is?
Perhaps.
Then give me a name and let's be done with it.
That's not the way it works. Now go. And remember, begin your search in the village market.
Here comes the first official mission for Assassin's Creed. Obviously, this is still part of the game's tutorial, and therefore won't be that difficult. However, it does run me through what most of my future quests and hunts will be like. The village of Masyaf is much smaller than most of the other cities I'll be visiting though, but it's a great playground to start off in. There are civilians to blend in with, guards to avoid, buildings to climb, and leads to follow. The very first clue leads me to my first investigatory skill, eavesdropping. By sitting on a nearby bench, I can hone in and listen to specific NPCs.
I know what I saw. Musun opened the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Mualim.
I can't. Musun did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
But the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the weaver. He can name Masun's accomplice.
He's disappeared, hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
Following the icons on the minimap, I'm led to the next area of my investigation and introduced to information gathering method number 2, pickpocketing. By standing at a distance, I can start by listening in on my mark's conversation. Typically for pickpocketing, the dialogue is what reveals the useful information, and the actual act of taking the note is sort of like verifying the claim. At certain times though, like with what's happening here, there's nothing really that important that gets said. What's more, after taking the notes, the game will just tell you a person and place. This doesn't happen too often, but it does occur sometimes. This leads to the final method, interrogation. I now know that the traitor is a man named Masun, and he's located near the cypress trees. Arriving at the spot, I listen in on his rant and wait for him to start moving.
A traitor? I'm not a traitor. It's Al-Mualim who's betrayed us. Today's attack was but the first. And more will follow unless you repent. Give up your wicked ways. Rise up against the madman of Masyaf. See through his lies.
As soon as the mark is finished with their rant, they'll begin to move. From here, I ideally follow them to a secluded spot. However, it won't always work out like that. Then, once hidden, I can start swinging my fists. Eventually, they'll start talking, and I'll get my information.
Enough! I yield! I yield!
Speak quickly then. I've no interest in your games. Why did you betray us? And who do you serve?
We serve the Templars. You should too. Their cause is just.
We?
Jamal. He told me of their plans. Asked me to open the gate.
You betrayed us. We, who called you brother and kept you safe from harm.
I did what I believed was right. And if you must kill me for it, so be it. I am not afraid to die.
Your fate is not for me to decide. It's Al-Mualim who will judge.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
You stand accused of betraying our brotherhood and opening the way for our enemies. How do you answer to these charges?
I deny nothing. I'm proud of what I did. My only regret is that they failed.
I offer you a chance to repent, to renounce the evil in your heart.
It is not evil in my heart, but truth. I will not repent.
Then you will die. You did well, Altaïr. and have earned the right to carry a blade once more.
What will become of the one who helped him?
It remains to be seen. Some do ill out of ignorance or fear. These men can be saved. Others suffer from corrupted wills, their minds poisoned and twisted. These men must be destroyed. Soon enough, we'll know what sort of man Jamal is.
I've passed your test then. What now?
Oh, my child. We've only just begun. I hold here a list. 9 names adorn it. 9 men who need to die. They are plague bringers, war makers. Their power and influence corrupts the land and ensures the crusades continue. You will find them. Kill them. In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace, both for the region and for yourself. In this way, you might be redeemed.
9 lives in exchange for mine.
A most generous offer, I think. Have you any questions?
Only where I need begin.
Very well. Ride for Damas. Seek out the black market merchant named Tamir. Let him be the first to fall.
From here, Altaïr gets parts of his gear back, mainly the essentials, the hidden blade and the longsword. Every time my abilities get restored and my weapons get given back to me, I have the opportunity to test them out during training. While it seems as simple as just attacking and blocking, the game goes over the various combos and specials that Altaïr can perform, like counterattacks and heavy attacks. These are game changers for Assassin's Creed's combat, especially as the story goes on. From here, I now get to re-experience one of my least favorite parts of the game, world traveling. I'm probably part of an incredibly small group of players that does not enjoy the travel parts of AC. Don't worry, I know that it's objectively an enjoyable part of the franchise, especially in the later installments where it's incredibly fun, unique, and adventurous. It's where you discover much of the game's lore, loot, and collectibles. With all of that said though, I'm still not a fan. I mostly enjoy the actual contract/assassination parts of the game. With AC, I've always preferred to just stay on task and focus on the mission. I've had more fun that way. Regardless of how I feel, AC1 has a relatively extensive world system and it only gets more creative as the games go on. This region of the Earth is simply titled the Holy Land, but it's likely somewhere in and around the modern-day Israel-Syrian border. There are 4 main regions of the Holy Land that Altaïr can visit. There's Masyaf, which I've already been to, then there's Acre, Jerusalem, and finally my desired destination, Damascus. Sorry, I apologize if I'm butchering these names. There's a large area of land that separates each of these regions, and it acts as the highway for me to travel in between each city. After leaving the confines of Masyaf, I quickly learned that the rest of the world isn't as willing to turn a blind eye to Altaïr's actions. This is where high profile versus low profile really comes into play. If I do anything that's deemed as strange, this could be running, climbing, galloping too fast, laying hands on other NPCs, or just getting too close to the soldiers, they'll aggro on and attack me. Honestly, I think it's best to just keep my head down, steamroll past everyone and everything, and full gallop to my desired city. There's no benefit to stopping and fighting the soldiers, and it takes up a lot of time to slowly get past them. That's just my logic though, as there are of course a bunch of different ways to approach it. Arriving in the region of Damascus, I'm introduced to the city's charms. Outside its gates, there aren't that many NPCs around. However, there is a group of soldiers that's harassing a citizen. By helping said citizen, aka slaying the soldiers, they tell Altaïr how brave and strong he is. That's all fine and dandy, but more importantly, it opens up a way into the city. You see, I didn't get to show it off very well here, but the gates are guarded by 4 soldiers and they won't let Altaïr through. I either have to blend in with a group of scholars, a feature that's now available to me after saving the citizen, or I fight my way through. Fighting would have seen me take on at least 6 more soldiers, but I guess I already slew half as many just to get this opportunity. Either way, once inside, Damascus is now my oyster. I'm to find the Templar named Tamir, but in order to do so, there are a series of repetitive steps that I need to take. This is the formula for AC1's gameplay. Step 1, find a synchronization point. I showed those off earlier while riding through the countryside. They help to get a lay of the land and see what hotspots/events are going on around me. Typically, the tallest buildings in the city are sync spots and they're marked by a bird on the minimap and you can usually see an eagle flying around them. After doing a few of those, a couple of icons will have popped up on the world map. Technically, the order in which they're visited isn't super important, but if done right, it helps to create a certain flow. In my case, the first thing I investigated was a nearby pickpocket site.
Do you understand?
Yes. I am to deliver the letter to your merchant friend.
And you know who to see?
The same man as always.
Do not think to betray my presence in this city. We have many eyes, many ears.
And many arms, yes. Good for silencing those who say too much. I know this well. You have my word.
Good. Then be quick about it. Time is short.
A note meant for a mysterious merchant. After swiping it, it reveals that Tamir is preparing a large shipment of goods, but for what and where is unknown. For now, it's a start, and that leads me to my next objective, visiting the Assassin's Bureau. This is a necessity for each time I visit a new region in search of a new target. I essentially have to gain permission from the city's representative to hunt in these lands, something that came with all of Altaïr's demotions. The Bureau is ultimately a safe house for assassins, and it's where I can safely piece the puzzle together.
Altaïr, it is good to see you, and in one piece.
You as well, friend.
I am sorry for your troubles.
Think nothing of it.
A few of your brothers were here earlier, in fact. Oof, if you'd heard the things they said, I'm certain you'd have slain them where they stood.
It's quite all right.
Yes, you've never been one for the creed, have you?
Is that all?
I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget myself. What business brings you to the Mass?
A man named Tamir. Al-Muallim takes issue with the work he does. I meant to end it. Now tell me where to find him.
Surely you remember how to track an enemy.
Of course. Learn where he will be and when. But that sort of work is best left for... I understand.
Go and search the city, determine what he's planning and where he works. Preparation makes the victor.
What can you tell me of him?
Tamir makes his living as a black market merchant, so the Souk district should be your destination. I would suggest you seek out the following places. A small souk northeast of here, the madrasa to our east, and in the gardens north of this bureau. Focus on these places and he should become well known to you.
I assume you want me to return to you when this is done.
Yes. Come back to me. I'll give you Al-Muallim's marker and you'll give us Tamir's life.
As you wish.
Remember, Altaïr, if you find yourself in trouble and the city turned against you, return to the Bureau. I can shelter you from the storm. Be warned though, if your enemies are too close, my door will remain closed until you've lost them. Do you understand?
Yes. To bring the enemy inside would compromise the Brotherhood.
Very well. Off you go.
Visiting the rep, he'll give me clues on where I should take my search next. Opening the world map, I can see that for this contract, I only need to complete 2 investigations. There are 6 in total that I can embark on, and the pickpocket mini-quest was the first, so now I just have to find one more. You also probably saw that there are 3 different districts of Damascus. This is because all 9 marks are spread across each of the 3 playable cities, minus Masyaf, 3 heads per city. The next investigation I embarked on ended up being an eavesdropping one.
That city is ours.
So, how did you manage to do it?
Oh, it wasn't easy, my friend. No, not at all. Cursed merchant caught me trying to steal from him. Called for help.
I can't imagine the guards were pleased.
At least a dozen of them appeared. All well armed and spoiling for a fight.
What did you do?
I ran, over, under, and through the crowd. Knocked over a few stalls for good measure. But they kept coming.
Then how did you escape?
With a little help from my friends.
What do you mean?
There's a couple of my brothers who gather around the southeastern exit of the souk. They let me pass and then turned their attention towards the guards. Kept them distracted while I got away. Without their help, I wouldn't be here right now.
Now, it is possible to do more than 2 investigations per mission. In fact, the game practically encourages it. By racking them up, you get access to more information regarding the mark, their movements, and whereabouts. Well, I don't really bother with going above and beyond, as I kind of like the surprise when it comes to taking down my target. It can be useful for some.
But there was no relief in sight. Some say, were it not for Tamir, Salah ad-Din's men would have surely turned on him. Could be we won the battle because of that man.
Cornering the preacher in an alley, he gave me a more realistic response to being interrogated. Instead of taking a beating, he retaliated and threw a few punches back. Admirable, but not enough to turn things around.
You seem to know quite a bit about Tamir. Tell me what he's planning.
I know only the stories I tell, nothing more.
A pity. There's no reason to let you live if you've nothing to offer in return.
Wait! There is one thing.
Continue.
He is preoccupied as of late. He oversees the production of many weapons.
What of it? They're meant for Salah ad-Din. This does not help me, which means it does not help you.
No, stop, listen! Not Salah ad-Din. They're for someone else. The crests these arms bear, they are different, unfamiliar. It seems Tamir supports another, but I know not who.
Is that all?
Yes. I've told you everything I know.
Then it's time for you to rest.
Yeah, that's the other part of interrogations. Altaïr never lets the informant live. I get it, loose ends and all, but it is pretty brutal. With 3 finished investigations under my belt, I returned to the bureau and connected the dots.
Altaïr, welcome!
I've done what you asked. Now give me the marker.
First things first, tell me what you know.
Tamir rules over the Souk El Salah. He makes his fortune selling arms and armor and is supported by many in this endeavor. Blacksmiths, traders, financiers. He's the largest death dealer in the land.
And have you devised a way to rid us of this blight?
A meeting is being arranged at Souk El Salah to discuss an important sale. They say it's the largest deal Tamir has ever made. He'll be distracted with his work. That's when I'll strike.
Your plan seems solid enough. I give you leave to go. Let Al-Mualim's will be done. You may rest here until you are ready.
As the Animus fasts forward, it's now time to strike against Tamir. The marker that I received ends up being a feather. Pretty strange, but it'll soon make sense, sort of. The same set of environmental rules still apply. I have to blend in with the masses and make it to Tamir's location quietly. Otherwise, if I have guards on my tail, the area will be blocked off. Arriving in the souk, I dropped down to the lower level and waited on Tamir to show.
Your men have failed to fill the order, which means I have failed my client.
We need more time.
This is the excuse of a lazy or incompetent man. Which are you?
Neither.
What I see says otherwise. Now, tell me, what do you intend to do to solve this problem of ours? These weapons are needed now.
I see no solution. The men work day and night, but your client requires so much, and the destination. It is a difficult route.
Were it that you could produce weapons with the same skill as you produce excuses.
I have done all I can.
It is not enough.
Then perhaps you ask too much.
Too much? I gave you everything. Without me, you would still be charming serpents for coin. All I asked in return was you fill the orders I bring you, and you say I asked too much? You dare disrespect me?
Peace, Tamir. I meant no insult.
Then you should have kept your mouth shut!
No! Stop!
Stop? I'm just getting started.
No! Stop!
You came into my souk, stood before my men, and dared to insult me? You must learn your place! No. Leave the body. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you. Think twice before you tell me something cannot be done. Now get back to work.
Clearly, he isn't winning any humanitarian awards. No matter, as when I'm finished with him, he won't be able to spread any more fear or terror amongst the masses. From here, Tamir leaves himself wide open. No guards, no defenses, back turned. Crawling through the crowd, I get in close and complete my kill.
Be at peace.
You'll pay for this. You and all your kind.
It seems you're the one pays now, my friend. You'll not profit from suffering any longer.
You think me some petty death dealer, suckling at the breast of war? A strange target, don't you think? Why me, when so many others do the same?
You believe yourself different, then?
Oh, but I am. For I serve a far nobler cause than mere profit.
just like my brothers.
Brothers?
Ah, but he thinks I act alone. I am but a piece. A man with a part to play. You'll come to know the others soon enough. They won't take kindly to what you've done.
Good. I look forward to ending their lives as well.
Such pride. It will destroy you, child.
The job is done, but now comes the second part to every assassination: escaping. The city is now on high alert. Not only am I being pursued by the witness soldiers, everyone is actively searching for me. It's a Damascus-wide manhunt, and essentially, I have to make it back to the bureau with as low of a profile as possible. Usually, my best strategy is to stick to the rooftops. This way, I can avoid most eyes, I'll get to the bureau fast, and if I do get seen, I can always take cover in the cabanas.
Word has reached me of your victory, Altaïr. You have my gratitude and my respect.
Thank you.
It is a shame that the other assassins continue to hold you in such poor regard.
Rafiq, I do not care what the others think of me.
As you wish, Altaïr. You should bring news of your victory to Al-Malim. I'm certain he has more work for you to do.
Out of the machine, Mr. Miles.
What's the matter, Doc?
Miss Stillman is once again insisting I let you rest.
One target down, only 8 more to go. With Dr. Warren gone, I took the time to speak with Lucy. She's certainly nicer than Warren, but she's still withholding a bunch of information. Lucy tells me that her and the doc have a 1-week deadline to get the information that they need, and at this point, there's only 6 days left. When asked why only 1 week, she simply says that it's not safe to discuss any more details. The next round of conversation isn't necessarily lore relevant, but in case you were curious, as I know I was, Lucy touches on the dialogue that comes from Altaïr's memories. The Animus is translating everyone's conversation and making it easy to understand for those who only speak English, so Desmond and the player. Hence why all of these Middle Eastern citizens from the 1100s are speaking modern day English, and Altaïr sounds like he's straight out of the OC. From here, there's nothing more to do. So, Desmond returns to his quarters and rests for the night.
Let's go, Mr. Miles. Time's wasting.
Where's Lucy?
Oh, don't worry. She'll be with us soon enough.
So why are you doing all this, Doc? What are you hoping to accomplish?
You turned the television on lately? Read the newspaper?
Never cared much for that stuff.
Then, let me sum it up for you. The world's a mess. It's pathetic, really. You've seen it firsthand yourself. 1,000 years between you and your ancestor, and society remains just as barbaric, just as stupid.
And your point is?
Order, Mr. Miles. The world needs order. That is what we're working towards, and that is what you're helping us to achieve.
You expect me to believe you're building a better tomorrow?
That's exactly what we're doing. The human race calls out for direction. They want to know why they're here, what they're meant to do. Well, we're going to tell them. And once they understand how to live their lives, everything will be better.
Better how?
An end to all conflicts, large and small. Isn't that what you assassins strive for? Peace in all things?
I told you, I'm not an assassin.
Right.
I still don't see where I fit into things.
In time, Mr. Miles. In time, you'll understand. Or you won't. I don't care either way, as long as you show us where it is.
Where what is?
Sorry I'm late. Ready to go?
Yes, we are.
It's becoming clearer that as soon as Altaïr finishes his work, so will the Abstergo scientists. Stepping back into the Animus, I'm transported back into Altaïr's memory.
You've done well, Altaïr, and I'm confident that this is but the first of many successes.
Tamir spoke as if he knew you well. He implied my work had a larger meaning.
Significance comes not from a single act, but the context within which it is performed. The consequence is born of it.
Then is there more I need to know?
Altaïr, your greatest failure was born of knowing too much. If I choose to withhold information, it is only to ensure you do not make the same mistake a second time.
I see.
No, you don't. and it will remain this way until you've learned your lesson. Still, you have performed competently, and as such I restore a rank and will return a piece of your equipment. Go now, either to Akka or Jerusalem. There are men in both cities who require your attention. The Bureau leaders can tell you more about what needs to be done.
With my latest success, I now get access to the short sword. Furthermore, I unlock a literal game-changing ability, the counter kill/attack. In my opinion, this is too overpowered of an ability. It's exactly as it sounds, a counter to my enemy's attacks. With it, I never really need to actively attack again. In a lot of circumstances, a successful counterattack kills the enemy. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a game-breaking ability, as it doesn't one-shot every enemy and it can easily be circumvented via the enemy grappling Altaïr, which does happen, but it adds a layer of ease to AC's combat. Against 2 to 4 enemies, all I have to do is block their attacks and counter until they're dead. I wonder if Ubisoft knew what they were doing with this, or they were just making abilities as they went. Either way, I now have my choice of targets. I can either go to Jerusalem or to Acre for my next contract. Picking one at random, Acre was my next destination. The countryside shenanigans remained largely the same. Everywhere I rode to, soldiers of some kind, whether Templars or regional, would watch me like a hawk. Activating more synchronization spots, I get a better lay of the land as well as the various routes in and out of the valleys. Assassin's Creed has its fair share of collectibles. While the succeeding games have quite a few more than AC1, the original has flags and memory blocks that are scattered all around the world. If you are looking for more to this game and love the idea of collectibles, then you should be able to keep yourself busy for quite some time. Arriving at Acre, the scene was certainly a lot different from Damascus. For starters, I had a pretty abrupt entrance to the city. Galloping right into the public, the guards decided to go after me and it called for a high-profile chase. Sacrificing my horse, I was able to push past all of the soldiers and stumble into Acre. From here, my housewarming involved escaping the guards and taking cover. Not the easiest way of getting acquainted with the city. Acre had a much different feel to it than Damascus. This was likely because of the different light filters used, but it ended up portraying Acre as colder, dirtier, and a harsher place. Finding my first sink spot, it revealed an interrogation scene just below, as well as the local bureau. Figuring that it'd be more efficient to deal with the here and now, I listened in to the orator.
Garnier de the Blues is a good man. He means only to help. He's sworn an oath to serve and save, a promise he won't betray. Soon, my friends, soon the good doctor will attend to your needs. Be patient, hold hope close. There are many in need of aid, and only one of him. He works tirelessly to serve and save, but these things take time.
It sounds like my next target's name is Garnier. Following the speaker to a somewhat secluded spot, not really, I threw a couple of punches and got more information.
Mercy, mercy, don't kill me. I'll do anything you want.
You serve Garnier?
He makes me say these things to keep the people from revolting, to give them hope and make them eager for his touch.
Tell me everything you can about the man.
Yes, of course. I know what happens within, what he really does.
Go on.
Not sick, not wounded when they enter, but once he's got his hands on them, then the pain begins.
He's no healer then. Just a sick, cruel man.
I don't know what it is he does to make them cry so loud, but it must be stopped before more are made to suffer. Will you stop him?
It's why you still live.
He is cautious. You must pick the proper time. Go to him when he attends to the patients. He forgets the world around him, becomes lost in his work. Yes, strike then.
I thank you for the information.
Then you'll let me go?
Would that I could.
Not the most subtle kill, but I suppose a necessary one. The information gathered from him was vital. I now know how to strike. I just need to now find out when Garnier makes his rounds and where exactly the hospital is, as well as the details of its layout. Evading the locals, I then made my way to the bureau and received more leads.
Ah, Altaïr. A little bird told me you'd be paying a visit.
Al-Muallim has ordered the execution of Garnier de Naplouse, and so here I am. What can you tell me about him?
He is the Grand Master of the Knights Hospitaller, and surely keeps his quarters in their district. Beyond that, I cannot say. I suggest you search the city. See what you can learn from the people.
Tell me where they gather and I'll see what I can find.
The public gardens north of here, or what's left of them, are as good a place as any to begin. There's an abandoned market northwest as well that merits watching. And Maria of Jehoshaphat's church to the west remains a popular meeting place. These 3 locations should be sufficient for your needs.
I appreciate the information, Rafiq. It will be put to good use.
See that it is.
North, northwest, and west are my key takeaways. Finding a sync spot in that general direction, I was able to locate my next investigation, a pickpocketing scene.
I need this dealt with now. The ropes are eaten through with rot and must be replaced. If we wait any longer, we risk an accident.
I understand, but what of the houses I'm supposed to repair?
Never mind the citizens. What do they do anyway but cry and complain? It's the knights who sacrifice that the rest of us might live in peace.
But they've nowhere to go, and the rains will come soon.
I won't warn you again, boy. Do as you're told or you'll find yourself in irons.
Yes, sire.
First sensible words out of your mouth. You've got the plans now. Get to work.
This was my first time failing a pickpocketing sequence, or really any sequence. I wasn't sure if I'd just get sent back to my latest checkpoint, or if the game would be more or less forgiving. Fortunately, the punishment really wasn't that bad. After dealing with some soldiers who were called to the scene, mostly via counterattacks, the encounter reset. Both NPCs were back at their post and all of the dialogue was skipped. The note got handed off again, and this time I tried my best to stay undetected. I ended up getting the letter, but had to take care of a few more guards. No matter, as it served as decent combat practice. Something I like about Assassin's Creed 1 is that there's no reward or benefit for fighting NPCs. There are no XP, loot, or upgrades that could be acquired. In a game that's all about assassination and rooted in stealth, it's how it should be. The later games steer a little bit away from that, but again, they take a different route that can be appreciated in a different way. With all of the information I need, I returned to the bureau and laid out a game plan.
Altaïr? How fares your search for Garnier?
I know when and how to strike.
Share your knowledge with me then.
He lives and works within the Order's hospital, northwest of here. Rumors speak of atrocities committed within its walls. It seems the good doctor enjoys experimenting on innocent citizens. Most of them kidnapped and brought here from Jerusalem.
Clever. By stealing his subjects from another city, he avoids arousing too much suspicion here. But back to the matter at hand. What is your plan?
Garnier keeps mainly to his quarters inside the hospital, though he leaves occasionally to inspect his patients. It's when he makes his rounds that I will strike.
It's clear you've given this some thought. I give you leave to go. Remove this stain from Akka, Altaïr. Perhaps it will help cleanse your own. Rest here until you're ready to begin your mission.
I've rested up and now it's go time. Penetrating Garnier's hospital was actually easier said than done. First of all, the exterior is loaded with guards and soldiers. If they see anything out of the ordinary, it's stab first, ask questions later. As for the entrance itself, it was also heavily guarded. The only way I'd get through was by a fight or with the escort of some scholars. I did hear cries of help coming from the streets, likely my way into the hospital, but instead I decided to explore another idea. Climbing to the top of some nearby buildings, I found an access point that led to the top of the hospital's roof. Here, I took out as many guards as possible. Even when I got caught, it wasn't that big of a deal, as there were only so many on patrol. When ready, I was able to drop down into the hospital's courtyard and waited for Garnier to show his face.
No, help! Help me! Help me! Please! You must help me!
Enough, my child. I asked you to retrieve the patient, not to kill him. There. Everything will be all right.
No!
Give me your hand.
Don't touch me! Not again!
Cast out this fear, else I cannot help you.
Help me? Like you helped the others? You took their souls! I saw! But not mine! No! You'll not have mine! Ah!
take hold of yourself. Do you think this gives me pleasure? Do you think I want to hurt you? But you leave me no choice.
Every kind word matched by the back of his hand. All lies and deception. He won't be content until all bow before him.
You should not have done that. Return him to his quarters. I'll be along once I've tended to the
You
other.
can't keep me here. I'll escape again.
No, you won't. Break his legs, both of them. I am so sorry, child. Have you people nothing better to do?
These targets aren't making a good case for themselves. I suppose that's exactly why they're on the hit list though. As Garnier closes the door behind him, I find an alternative way around. It's true what the informant had said. He's in his own world as he's tending to his patients. The person whom he's currently with actually seems grateful for Garnier's medical attention, certainly a far cry off from the previous guy's testimony. As Garnier leaves his side, he walks straight towards me. It's the perfect opportunity to strike. Well, maybe not. I guess since I was still in his field of view, he could see my attack coming. What was supposed to be a simple, stealthy takedown turns out to be an all-out brawl in the streets. Garnier and his men against Altaïr. Well, it's anticlimactic. I ended up having no problems disposing of his men and then defeating Garnier in hand-to-hand combat.
Let go your burden.
I'll rest now, yes. The endless dream calls to me. But before I close my eyes, I must know what will become of my children.
You mean the people made to suffer your cruel experiments? They'll be free now to return to their homes.
Homes? What homes? The sewers? The brothels? The prisons that we dragged them from?
You took these people against their will.
Yes. What little will there was for them to have. Are you really so naive? Do you appease a crying child simply because he wails? But I want to play with fire, Father. What would you say? As you wish. But then you'd answer for his burn.
These are not children, but men and women full grown.
In body, perhaps, but not in mind, which is the very damage I sought to repair. I admit, without the piece of Eden, which you stole from us, my progress was slowed. But there are herbs, mixtures, and extracts. My guards are proof of this. They were madmen before I found and freed them from the prisons of their own minds. And with my death, madmen they will be again.
You truly believe you were helping them?
It's not what I believe. It's what I know.
It's interesting that so far, both of my targets have thought themselves to be a hero. They thought they were bettering their respective cities and its people. I've always liked this little detail. It gets Altaïr second-guessing his orders, and with it, the player starts to question things a bit too. Regardless, these men have shown themselves to be monsters in some way, shape, or form. So, certainly no regrets with removing them from society. When my notoriety was clear, I returned to the bureau and handed in my marker.
What news, Altaïr?
Garnier is dead.
Then you should return to Masyaf with news of your victory.
There is something else.
Speak it then, or would you have me read your mind?
What do you think he wanted from these people? That he would keep them and experiment on them as he did?
Yours is not to ask, but act, Altaïr. It doesn't matter what he did or why. Only that he's dead.
But Garnier seemed to believe he was helping these people.
Is that what you saw?
No. What I saw was not a place of healing, but of pain.
Then why are we having this conversation?
I don't know. Forget I spoke of it.
I already have.
Have you news for me, Altaïr?
Garnier de Naplouse is dead.
Excellent. We could not have hoped for a more agreeable outcome.
And yet...
What is it?
The doctor insisted his work was noble, and looking back, those who were supposedly his captives seemed grateful to the man. Not all of them, but enough to make me wonder. How did he manage to turn enemy into friend?
Leaders will always find ways to make others obey them, and that is what makes them leaders. When words fail, they turn to coin. When that won't do, they resort to baser things, bribes, threats, and other types of trickery. There are plants, Altaïr, herbs from distant lands that can cause a man to take leave of his senses. So great are the pleasures it brings, men may even become enslaved by it.
You think these men were drugged then? Poisoned?
Yes, if it truly was as you describe it.
Herbs. This seems a strange method of control.
Our enemies have accused me of the same.
The promise of paradise.
They think it is a garden, overflowing with women and pleasure. But I drug you as Garnier did his men, and tempt you with his rewards.
They do not know the truth of it.
Which is how it must be.
But if they knew the truth of it, that all we seek is peace,
then they would not fear us, and we would have no hold over them. Go. It is time you continued with your work. Another rank is restored to you, as is a piece of your equipment. We'll speak again when the next has fallen.
With my newly restored rank, I once again gain access to throwing knives and the ability to tackle others. If a target, mark, or desired NPC is fleeing from me, I can bulldoze them to the ground. This can also be used to disorient my enemies and get innocent bystanders out of the way. To touch a little more on what I was saying before, even though Altaïr knows those were bad men, his questions and curiosities about them get shot down by the guild. It almost feels manipulative. If anything, that just makes him, and therefore the player, even more curious on their true motives and intentions, whether good, nefarious, or something else altogether. In any case, the third contract has me riding to the city of Jerusalem. Through no fault of my own, I had some difficulty reaching it. I was stubborn and thought I could get there without revealing the rest of the map. I probably could have if I just committed, but I started to second guess the pathways, the guards were hot on my tail, and at one point I was traveling away from the city. I think if you know the map well, this probably wouldn't be an issue and you can easily navigate the blurred world. Either way, after a long time spent wandering the countryside, I eventually made it to Jerusalem's jurisdiction. This time, my plan to get into the city was a little more thought out. Off to the side in one of the courtyards, I could see a citizen getting bullied by some of the guards. Playing hero, I intervened, slew them all, and gained access to Jerusalem via the scholars. Just an observation, and again, probably due to clever lighting tricks, Jerusalem felt like a better version of Damascus and a much tidier version of Acre. It seemed like the most taken care of and well off of the three cities. Definitely a more promising playground. As soon as I got into the city, I couldn't help but notice there was an interrogation investigation right by the entrance. So I figured I'd go ahead with it right away.
Who knows what the future holds? What tragedies tomorrow may bring? Defend against an uncertain future. Protect the ones you love. Work hard and you will be rewarded. Talal provides.
Jerusalem's target is named Talal. Other than the fact that this man sees him as a king, I'm unsure of any of the other specifics. Following him to what seemed like a secluded alleyway, I ended up attracting the attention of some local thugs. While it only delayed the inevitable, they did do a good job at making me work for the information.
I have nothing to say to you.
Speak to me or speak to God. It's your choice.
You won't stop the work he does. Cannot stop it.
Stop what? What work?
He prepares them for the journey.
Journey where?
They are held in his warehouse. And when the time comes, they are sent to Akka.
Where is this warehouse? And why Akka?
Talal tells me what I need to know. Nothing more. It is safer that way.
For him, perhaps. Though not, I fear, for you.
Talal's work sounds even more cryptic than the last targets. Kidnapping people and sending them to this unknown location for an unspecified reason. So far, Tamir's been running black market operations in Damascus and was apparently preparing a massive shipment of weapons. Garnier was brainwashing, treating, and kidnapping troubled citizens, and as we know it, Talal is doing the same, minus the medical part of it all. If I didn't know any better, assuming these men are all connected in some way, it almost sounds like there's a secret organization that's building an army of soldiers. They're using whatever means necessary too, kidnapping, drugging, forced labor, etc. If they're not connected though, then they're just scourges in their cities and need to be removed. Entering Jerusalem's bureau, I ran into a familiar face. It's my guildmate, Malik, from the Temple of Solomon.
Safety and peace, Malik.
Your presence here deprives me of both. What do you want?
Al-Muallim has asked.
Asked that you perform some menial task in an effort to redeem yourself. So be out with it.
Tell me what you can about the one they call Talal.
It is your duty to locate and assassinate the man, Altaïr, not mine.
You'd do well to assist me. His death benefits the entire land.
Do you deny his death benefits you as well?
Such things do not concern you.
Your actions very much concern me.
Then don't help me. I'll find him myself.
Wait. It won't do having you stumble about the city like a blind man. Better you know where to begin your search.
I'm listening.
I can think of 3 places. South of here in the markets that line the border between the Muslim and Jewish districts. To the north near the mosque of this district, and east in front of St. Anne's Church, close to the Babariha gate.
Is that everything?
It's enough to get you started, and more than you deserve.
Understandably, he's still angry at what happened to his brother, and you know what? I don't blame him. Altaïr was arrogant and overconfident. Because of that, he compromised his guildmates. One died and the other barely got away. Meanwhile, I didn't even get any piece of the action. Either way, with one investigation down, there was only one more to go. Getting my bearings at a nearby sink spot, I discovered a pickpocketing sequence pretty close by.
The guard won't take action. It falls to us to do something.
What you propose is madness.
But necessary. How many more will we allow to go missing before the people take a stand?
It does not affect us.
Not yet. But if we continue to do nothing, it will.
And what do you propose?
I've watched the man. Learned everything there is to know about his operation. It's all here on a map I've made. He inspects his stock every day at the same time. This is when I'll strike.
So you have a piece of paper. It won't save you when you're discovered. Won't shield you from their swords and arrows.
If all goes well, it won't come to that. Anyway, it's a risk I'll have to take. Wish me luck, my friend.
Indeed. You'll need it.
It sounds like some of the townsfolk are displeased with Talal's actions as well. How do you know that you're not next to be abducted off the streets? Taking the paper, it's apparently a detailed map of Talal's guards' positions at his warehouse. This, along with the other information, should be enough to strike against him.
Malik.
Come to waste more of my time?
I've found Talal. I'm ready to begin my mission.
That is for me to decide.
Very well. Here's what I know. He traffics in human lives, kidnapping Jerusalem citizens and selling them into slavery. His base is a warehouse located inside the Barbican, north of here. As we speak, he prepares a caravan for travel. I'll strike while he's inspecting his stock. If I can avoid his men, Talal himself should prove little challenge.
Little challenge? Listen to you. Such arrogance.
Are we finished? Are you satisfied with what I've learned?
No. But it will have to do. Rest, prepare, cry in the corner. Do whatever it is you do before a mission. Only make sure you do it quietly.
Running through the streets of Jerusalem, I arrived at the northern side of town and surveyed the area. Already, I could see a group of soldiers harassing a citizen. I know that he could be used to get past a group of guards somewhere down the line. So, taking the heat off of him and striking his assailants down, a group of scholars spawned in, and lo and behold, they got me through a guarded pathway. From here, it was just a matter of finding my way into Talal's warehouse. Rounding the corner of the nearest building, that wasn't so hard to do. There was an open doorway that led right on in. However, it ended up being more than I bargained for. Stepping foot inside, the doorway behind me closed shut and I was locked in.
What now, slaver?
Do not call me that. I only wish to help them, as I myself was helped.
You do no kindness imprisoning them like this.
Imprisoning them? I keep them safe, preparing them for the journey that lies ahead.
What journey? It is a life of servitude.
You know nothing. It was folly to even bring you here. To think that you might see and understand.
I understand well enough. Show yourself.
Ah, so you want to see the man who called you here?
You did not call me here. I came on my own.
Did you? Who unbarred the door? Cleared the path? Did you once raise your blade against a single man of mine, huh? No. All this I did for you. Step into the light then, and I will grant you one final favor. Now I stand before you. What is it you desire?
Come down here. Let us settle this with honor.
Why must it always come to violence? It seems I cannot help you, for you do not wish to help yourself, and I cannot allow my work to be threatened. You leave me no choice. You must die.
Certainly a different lead-up than the previous two missions. This time, Talal was waiting for me, almost as if he knew I was coming. This section of the contract sees me battling against Talal's lackeys in a confined space. There is not a lot of room to maneuver around, and when one man dies, another takes his place. However, perseverance is key. Countering, swinging, and blocking, I eventually thinned their numbers and cleared a path up to Talal. Climbing the nearby ladder, the ringleader got spooked and made a break for the rooftop. Sometimes in Assassin's Creed, the game spices things up and has Altaïr really work for his kill. Sometimes it's as easy as stabbing a man with his back turned, and other times I'm chasing them down in the streets. Either way, I eventually caught up to Talal, lunged at him through a crowd, and sunk my blade into his back.
You've nowhere to run now. Share your secrets with me.
My part is plain. The Brotherhood is not so weak that my death will stop its work.
What Brotherhood?
Al-Mualim is not the only one with designs upon the Holy Land. And that's all you'll have from me.
Then we are finished. Beg forgiveness from your god.
He's long abandoned us. Long abandoned the men and women I took into my arms.
What do you mean?
Beggars, whores, addicts, lepers. Do they strike you as proper slaves? Unfit for even the most menial tasks? No. I took them not to sell, but to save. And yet you'd kill us all. For no other reason than it was asked of you.
No. You profit from the war. From lives lost and broken.
Yes, you would think that, ignorant as you are. Wall off your mind, eh? They say it's what your kind do best. Do you see the irony in all this? No, not yet, it seems. But you will.
Another dead man and more questions to follow. I guess it's true what they say. Everyone is the hero of their own story. Garnier and Talal had similar strategies. Pluck the poor and sick off the street and help them by forcing them into work and slavery. At this point, it was confirmed by Talal and Tamir that there is some organization or brotherhood that's pulling the strings behind the scenes. Is it the Templars or perhaps another unknown group? Questions for now, answers for later. After losing my notoriety, I returned to the bureau and gave my marker back to Malik.
Altaïr! Wonderful to see you return to us. And how fared the mission?
The deed is done. Talal is dead.
Oh, I know. In fact, the entire city knows! Have you forgotten the meaning of subtlety?
A skilled assassin ensures his work is noticed by the many.
No! A skilled assassin maintains control of his environment.
We can argue the details all you'd like, Malik. But the fact remains I've accomplished the task set to me by Al-Mualim.
Go then. Return to the old man. Let us see with whom he sides.
You and I are on the same side, Malik.
God damn it! What's the problem now?
I'm getting weird temperature readings. I think the Animus is overheating.
Christ, it's always something! How long?
Too soon to tell.
These delays are unacceptable, Miss Stillman. I want progress reports every hour.
It's gonna be a while, Desmond. Why don't you go lie down or something? Get some rest.
I'll have to see what happens next with Altaïr and Al-Mualim at a later time. For now, though, there are a lot of questions swirling in my head. The Assassins, the Templars, my greater purpose, the 9 targets, it's a lot to digest at once. What exactly are Dr. Warren and Lucy looking for inside of Desmond's memories? What else are we going to find, and what's going to happen with me when they're all done?